Welcome to Bear Lifestyle, the podcast where we speak up and speak out about all taboo topics and make them normal and acceptable. You are invited to be curious, to try something new, and stay open to provocative perspectives. I'm your host, Simona Spark, a best-selling author, international speaker, transformational coach, and so many other things. Beyond anything else, I'm a woman who stopped following other people's rules and started creating my own. In this space, we are going to get naked by stripping away insecurities, self-judgments, and all kinds of limitations so we can reach in for the essence of who we really are, Bear. Beautiful, authentic, real, and ever-evolving. Thanks for listening. Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's start with celebrations with water. I'm celebrating myself, I'm celebrating you, and everyone that is here to listen and to watch. Welcome back for those of you that have been here before, and a very warm welcome for those of you that just discover this beautiful space where we want to talk about taboo topics with the intention of make them normal and acceptable. And today I'm going to dive into dating online dating. We're going to start this conversation because it's such a bigger conversation than just one episode. But I decided to talk about it today. And today I actually have some notes on my phone because I am very tired. I just literally came back from New York with no sleep. So let's do this. I make some notes to keep myself on track. So help us, God. Why online dating? For those of you that have been here before, you know, I've been on dating online for the past almost 3 years now. And while I was in this space of like a clear intention of connecting with people and stay open to meet wonderful people, to learn about them, to, everything that goes into, and I learned so much, like, oh my God, I learned so much, right? The most important thing is that I got to discover a lot about myself. So keep that in mind, if you are flirting with the idea of flirting online, keep in mind that it's not just about learning about other people or meeting the one or meeting somebody or whatever your intention might be, whatever your desire might be. It's really a very wonderful transformational process because putting yourself out there takes courage. It really does. It takes a lot of inner work to walk through. How do I say that I'm divorced? How do I say that I've been married 3 times? How, because it's that fear, like people might judge us. And you know what? They do. 100% they do. It's just we don't have the control of what kind of judgment they place when we share about who we are and what happened with our past. And it's the whole thing of like, oh my God, it's such an interview, right? I mean, very often I make the joke, but not necessarily a joke, mostly serious, like I don't want to talk about the past. I publish a book, go ahead and read it, and then decide if you want to call me back or not, because everything is there. So I found it very interesting how even as like mature adults, we have so much judgment about the person in front of us, based on, how many times they've been married, or if they've been in a long relationship or not, or if they have children, what they do for work, like everything, right? Like it or not, it's transforming into an interview. So if that's the fear of like being judged based on your past, I get it. I get it. That was my biggest fear too. Because I don't want anybody to look at me at who I am today and put me into whatever box based on their beliefs and their perception, based on what I'm sharing from my past. Because what I did at 20, it was the 20 years old version of myself, right? Or at 30 or 40 or so on. And we forget that. We forget that. The people that we are dating forget about that, right? We just have all this scripts in our heads about how we should do this dating thing. So I cannot tell you in 3 years with how many people I talk about online dating, and I don't know one person to say, I love this. Like I will say, like, this is so much fun. It's extraordinary. It's the easiest way that you could date. And of course, was also during pandemic when we are like tired of being isolated and alone and not be able to go out and socialize. I understand that layer. But do you remember like 20 years ago when you just go on a date and you don't even know how that person looks like? I think that was way more terrifying, because now at least you have a picture, right? And for me, and see if this applies to you, if you want to try it, my filter number one was to ask for a video call. And those that won't even do the video chat, well, we'll just delete, right? So it's so much easier. It's so much easier to date online. You could have a conversation. You could see the person. You could feel the energy, right? Of course, it's not the same as in a person, but it's like it's a very important filter to have before you actually get out and meet that person in person, right? So that alone, I just want to encourage everyone, and especially the ladies, to just put yourself out there. Put yourself out there and keep in mind, not only that you get to meet interesting people, it doesn't matter how good or bad or whatever you might judge them, but you really get to learn a lot about yourself. What are your limits? What are your boundaries? What do you like? What you don't like? One thing that I want to say is, the biggest shift that was for me when I actually says, oh, I like this dating thing, was when I realized that I could let go of the expectation of that particular date. So I didn't go for that coffee or for that dinner to meet my person. I went there to have a conversation, to connect with another human, and most importantly, to learn about myself. No, really, to learn about myself, to notice, to be aware, and to take a note of like how my preferences change. And that being said, just think about it. If you have any fear of dating, and especially dating online, to go back into where you date first time, maybe in teens or maybe in early 20s or whatever you date last time, and collect those moments where you just have a bad experience, just to be gentle with yourself and to recognize that those bad experiences actually help you create some strategies around the fear of not having the same experiences again. I'm not saying that it's an easy process, but that's the framework, right? If you know where the fear is coming from, then the next step is to realize that you're not that person anymore. You're not the person that had that experience. You're a new person now, and you, even if that happens again, you 100% gonna handle it differently because you are a different person now. So when you get to that point, then it's easier to move into this fun space where just let it be fun and flirty and excited and stay curious. And it's not the end of the world if you go and you have a bad day. Like, what is a bad date? What is a bad day? Like, really answer that to yourself. For me, a bad date, it was when I just met the person and they start telling me how I should live my life or what I should be doing or stuff like that. So not once, but quite a few times I just get up and leave. And that alone, it's For sure, it's been judged probably like very bad, but it was not about the person in front of me. It was about, am I compromising again, as I done it so many times, right? A decade ago and 2 decades ago and so on. Or am I just staying in my power and admitting that actually I get to decide who I spend my time with, and I get to decide who I'm giving my energy to. So if this is a bad conversation, or I'm feeling put down or judged for a person that I just met, I don't even need to explain myself. I just say, this is not a match. It was a mistake, and I wish you a lovely evening, and get up and leave. As simple as that. And then the other person gets to handle their feelings, like, not to sound mean or arrogant, but if the other person think that they have the right to tell me how to live my life when they don't even know me, well, in the same space, I have the right to just get up and leave. So I learned that about myself. And then I also learned that I could connect with other people, even though the intention was to date, to find a romantic partner, right? I could connect with people even when that particular spark is not there, and just, just be two adults having a lovely conversation over a coffee. Another major thing that I learned in this period of time through online dating, and if you follow my podcast, you know that I've been dating here in Los Angeles and in my travels in the different countries, because that's the beauty of online dating. You just change the location and you get matched with people on that location. So, like, how amazing is that, right? So what I learned is that I can't go on a date needing something. And we talk about the difference between needs and wants in the previous episodes, right? But think about it. There's that saying, I really love it. They say, don't go grocery shopping hungry. And then they took that and adopted, like, don't go dating horny. Right? Why? Because now you have a need that needed to be satisfied. So when we have a need that needed to be satisfied, we just want to satisfy that need. It's as simple as that. So I got to learn that actually all the needs that I have is to get curious, how can I satisfy those needs without another person? And then when you go to the date and you're fully satisfied, right? You're not sitting in that needy energy, and really you get to clarify what is it that you want. And probably before you even write down your profile on some dating application, is to get curious and you just ask yourself, like, what is it that I want? What is it that I'm looking for? What is it that I'm open to? Whatever your version of that might be. Maybe one day, who knows? Like, I have a whole list, like, what do I want? That's the question. What do you want from a romantic partner? And I keep add to that list, because for the past 3 years, that got changed a lot. Why? Because I change a lot. So that my preferences got to be changed. My desires also evolve as I evolve. But I keep on going back to this document and add new things. And when I do that? After each date. Because I come from a date and it doesn't matter if it was good or bad. It was like, okay, what did I learn about myself? Because even what I learned about the other person was absolutely irrelevant, especially if I was not to see them again, right? But what did I learn about myself? Like, how do I show up? How the conversation went, how much I share, how little I share, how did I feel about it? Was I comfortable? Was I sitting in integrity and in an honest energy? Was I pretending? Was I compromising? Was I agreeing with something that was against my core values? Like, so many things, like, it's so many things that goes into. That's why I'm saying it's not even about the dating and finding the person, as it is about, like, just evolving and learning how to communicate and really, really discover yourself in this space. And that is absolutely sufficient reason to put yourself out there. Yeah. So happy to announce that last week I officially deleted all my dating apps. Yes. So I'm officially off of dating because I did find my person for time being. We'll see how long. And that's all I have to say for now, but I'm gonna let you into more, right? So please come back next week. It's a very fitting that our episode is gonna fall on Valentine's Day, I believe. Yes, on Valentine's Day. So I want to talk more about my romantic relationship that I choose and decide to be in and no longer date other people. And it's so much more that it's coming up about that and around that in the next year. And I say the next year because we are celebrating 1 year anniversary on February 22nd. So I'm going to close this season in 2 weeks, and then we start a new season with a new approach, same space, same bare space, a bare lifestyle, but with a new approach, more openness, more vulnerability, more transparency. We just get to be even more bare, starting February 22nd. So for the second year of this podcast, I can't even believe that it's been a year already. Oh my God. And so much had happened in 1 year, right? So let me see if I forgot anything I make some notes in a plane about what is it that I want to say around this topic. And chances are that it didn't come out the way that I have it in my mind, but that's where we are. And I promise you that we will get back to this dating after divorce or divorces, dating internationally, online dating, and we're just going to go deeper. So I do want to invite you to please put in the comments, like, what are your questions? What are your fears? What are your concerns when it comes to dating or online dating specifically, because most of the dating is online now. Let's just say it as it is, right? Or as usual, if you just feel more comfortable to email me directly, do so at transformation@simonaspark.com. And for sure, I'm gonna address all of these questions or concerns that you have. So that's what I'm gonna stop for today and allow myself to just crash. I think the adrenaline and the excitement is the only thing that keeps me awake, because it makes no sense why I'm awake with 2 hours of sleep and all the travels and different time zone difference, but that's where we are. So in closing, I want to encourage you to dare to open a profile. If you do want to meet a new partner, if you just go ahead and open an application and start creating your profile. And if I could suggest anything, like, just answer all the questions in that profile, make it as detailed as possible. I never understood why people I'm just going to give them a little bit. Like, what's the point? Are you dating or are you not dating? Because if you look around or you talk with friends or people that they're dating and complain about dating, those are a valid question to ask. Do they have multiple pictures on their profile? Did they make a full description about who they are and what they're looking for? Did they answer to those questions? Silly or not, it doesn't matter. Because you can't just expect to meet the person without putting yourself out there. You can't expect to meet the right people when you don't give anything in your profile, right? Or you put distortion pictures or whatever. So let's just own it. Let's just take responsibility for, if I want to put myself out there and meet the people, so I need to let the universe know who I am and who do I want to meet, right? It gets to be that simple. So I encourage you to open a dating profile, whatever application you choose, and just dare to put yourself out there. and then come back here next Tuesday to get the big announcement for Valentine's Day, and then the week after we start a new season. I will give you more details next week. All right, go out there, date, have fun. You don't need to marry the person on the first date. Just go have fun, be yourself, let them see you for who you are, bear. And if they're still there, it's a match. If they're not, it's not. So you get to go again and just have fun. Until next week, have a bear lifestyle. Bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. I would love to hear from you. What inspired you? What triggered you? And what interests you? Please join the conversation by leaving your comments and your insights. Explore more about Bear Experience at simonaspark.com/bear. I hope you listen, follow, rate, and review all of our episodes. I can't wait to have you back. Till then, be Bear. Beautiful, authentic, real, and ever evolving.